Welcome to another connection here on TKO8 Television. Dennis King, my co-host Tabitha Odegaard, couldn't be with us today. She'll be back with us on the show next week. We do appreciate you joining us each week as we bring different guests and different organizations into our studio to talk about what's going on around our viewing area. And there's a lot of things going on. And we have a lot of great organizations that we invite in to tell us about maybe campaigns that they're raising money, etc. And hopefully a little bit of information that we bring to you perhaps you don't know about. And many times it really gives us some good information and insight on those organizations. Stay with us. Be back in a moment. We're going to talk with a very interesting gentleman about a place that we all know from the past.
Hello, this is Michelle from Nature's Wonders. I just want to tell you about some exciting upcoming events and new items. There will be a Gut Health 101 class with Jodelle Fitzwater coming up this month. Holiday items will be arriving shortly, and we will be having a fundraiser event for the Ozark Humane Society where 10% of sales will go to the shelter. There is also a fun trivia night event on October 13th to benefit the Humane Society as well. Check our Facebook page for updates, follow us on Instagram at Enjoy Nature's Wonders, join our email list by signing up in store, and of course, stop in and shop and find out all the latest at Nature's Wonders on Highway 65 in Harrison.
John was the first one to be an inpatient here, and everything was great. And I had heard some negative things about the hospital, and I'm going, what are you talking about? This hospital's great. Why would you want to travel over to Fayetteville when you have this great hospital? All the nurses, everybody, phenomenal.
Our first guest in the studio today is the first time I've met this gentleman, a very interesting person, and I look forward to even more conversations with him. And we appreciate Bud Pelsor for coming in the studio today. Bud, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Bud is actually the owner of Dogpatch U.S.A. Dogpatch over in Newton County. For those of you that maybe grew up here and came back, or grew up here and stayed here, if you're my age or similar, I won't tell you the age there, but you would remember the days of Al-Cap and the Dogpatch days, which was a big amusement park right here in our back door, right across the county line over in Dogpatch in Newton County. And Bud, we're going to talk about an event you got coming up, but you're such an interesting story here. You bought Dogpatch, I guess, about a year and a half ago, somewhere in there?
13 months ago.
13 months ago. When you bought it, what was kind of your plan, or did you have a plan, or you just bought it? And kind of hindsight 2020 thing.
my plan actually was to broker Dogpatch. I didn't come down here to buy it, but my business associate and I, we liked the place so much that when he suggested we buy it because he liked the proposal that I'd written for brokering the park, I wanted to broker it because I didn't want to see it razed. I didn't want to see bulldozers come in and destroy such a beautiful place. So when I found out it was for sale, I came down and I knew people that might be interested in it. And lo and behold, it turned out to be us.
It turned out to be you, didn't it?
Yes.
You know, you were telling me from the original days, I mean, you know, thousands of acres was a part of that whole theme park. Obviously, you didn't obtain all of that, but you do live up in what I remember to be the ski lodge, it's the building that was the big ski lodge. Nice building up on the mountain, up on the hill there. And that's where your residence is, I guess.
Nice view.
Nice view from up there. No ski slope anymore from down there, but when it snows, it could be.
Well, last year when it snowed, I skied down the driveway.
Did you? You skied down the driveway. But a little bit about the park itself. I know you came in and you did a lot of cleaning up and still continue to do work there. And you had a little bit of a situation. I remember one of the buildings caught fire or got on fire somehow. Well, one thing that's always interested me, I vaguely, but I do remember as a child, before the Dogpatch U.S.A., the Marble Falls was a big trout farm there, and there's a huge spring And I don't know, I never knew exactly how many gallons per minute or whatever that thing puts out, but it pumps a lot of water out of that spring there. It's 12 months out of the year, obviously.
4,000 gallons an hour, I think, is what they estimated the flow. And Rainey family had a trout farm there for many years. Before it was Dogpatch, which stayed in operation throughout Dogpatch.
Yes, it did.
Operated by the Rainey family, which have been very forthcoming with a lot of information. The Rainey family has been very good to me since I got here, and I really appreciate their help with historical documentation and even help in recommissioning the trout farm. The Rainey family has actually extended a helping hand to recommission a trout farm. And
now, are you operating that? Do you have is it up and running, the trout farm now?
Not yet.
Okay.
But with the Rainey family's help, I plan on getting it up and running pretty soon.
That is a beautiful setting down there. Of course, the whole park is beautiful. The way that spring comes out, and you got the lake and the water wheel, and it's just, I've always thought that was so pretty down through there. That whole area down there is picturesque. Probably a lot of the draw that you had for the property, I'm sure.
It's a magical place, and I'm a millwright by trade. That's what I did to earn my living for many years. So recommissioning both mills is in my plans. Not only the mill that was part of Dogpatch, but the old 32-foot wheel that was down below the falls that was part of the city of Wilcoxon in the 1800s.
I never knew that there was one on down below that.
Still, the remains is still in the cliffside there.
Wow.
For the old wheel that ran 3 businesses in Wilcoxon.
Let me ask, and again, I don't want to take too much of our time. I want to get into your promotional thing, but it's so interesting about Dogpatch. The train track, is it still intact, or is parts of it still intact?
90% of the rail is there. The cross ties will have to be replaced. But I have a guy named Jody Williams from Arkansas that does the movie trains for all of the movies. And he has a 24-gauge J.P. Huntington antique steam locomotive he wants to bring over and put in the park.
That would be fantastic.
It'd be great.
That would be something else. Again, you went in there and did a lot of cleanup of, those old buildings, the weeds had grown up and the trees through them, but you really maintained the structure and the as best you could. Everything that was there, you tried to kind of clean up and rebuild and put roofs on and so forth of some of those buildings down there in the village, I call it, down in that area.
Yes, the village.
And that's nice. Just real quickly, I know you're in the manufacturing business too. Other than this, your real business is the manufacturing business.
Yes, it is.
And you actually do spill-proof dog bowls. Is that? Tell me a little bit about real quickly.
A spill-proof water bowl. I should have brought one in. This bowl actually will turn upside down and not spill. It's the #1 water bowl of all police and military canine probably throughout the world. We sell them in Tasmania, Australia, New Zealand, France, Germany. I think we're in like 20 countries throughout the world.
And how long have you been doing this bowl? How long manufacturing? How long?
About 15 years.
Yeah, okay, so you're not new at it, obviously. Now, you said you actually have moved the manufacturing into Harrison to a manufacturing facility here in Harrison, that you're actually manufacturing here.
If you're going to live in Arkansas, do business in Arkansas, right?
That's good. And even in your community right here, that's even better. Well, that's very interesting that you got into that business and then, of course, got over into the Dogpatch property here. And if you have a chance, you need to drive out there, and I'm sure Bud would love to have anyone that would like to come out and look at the place, because he's done a lot and got a lot of other plans, I'm sure, for it. But it brings back a lot of memories if you grew up in this part of the country. If you didn't, maybe not. But if you grew up here, you would certainly enjoy going over and seeing some of the things that he's done and going to be doing. Okay, let's get into, you got a big event coming up October 23rd and 24th. Is this your idea to do this thing?
It was a friend of mine. Well, I wanted to have an event corresponding with every holiday in the village. And a friend of mine from Eureka Springs, they do the zombie crawl or the zombie walk or something. He and David Anderson got together and wanted to have a Heckuva Halloween in the village of Dogpatch. And I said, yeah. So there it is. They're coordinating it, and they're doing a heck of a job.
So, okay, so I was looking at the announcement we got here. Going to have all kinds of games and food and, of course, fun activities for the entire family, a special haunted walkthrough attraction, and it does say that these gentlemen are kind of spearheading this whole thing. And it's going to be October 23rd and 24th. That's a Friday and Saturday from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. And that'll be down in the village. Is that correct?
Down in the village.
So would you go, how would you go in? Would you park up on top and come down, or would you?
No, we have plenty of parking down outside the old employee entrance, which is right across from, I believe it's called Mill Creek Church.
Okay.
Right there on the bridge on Highway 7. There'll be signs out,
okay,
be well marked, and there'll be plenty of parking right there close to the gate.
Okay, that's good. So they can park right down by the village. Admission is $10 a person, $5 for children ages 4 through 13, and children 3 and under get in free. And again, this will be very fitting for the village at Dogpatch. I can kind of foresee some of the things, and with those buildings and the layout there, that would be a really cool Halloween adventure for people to come over there, for the entire family, obviously.
It will. And a walk down the waterfalls at night.
Now, how's your lighting there? Do you have, is there fairly good lighting for people in the village, or you will have, I guess? We
will have.
Okay.
And everybody will be escorted with flashlights, and there's lots of solar trail lights around. It's a pretty nice place to be at night.
Any goblins going to be down there, you think?
I'm going to be there.
Sounds like you kind of get into this Halloween stuff pretty good.
I love all the holidays. We're going to have a Thanksgiving theme, a Christmas theme in the village, and then, of course, January, February, and March, we'll probably just hole up, but we plan on even having a Christmas.
And you've had some outings already over there that's been very successful.
Yes.
I didn't get a chance to go to them, but I understand that they were very successful for you.
Yes.
People really enjoyed it.
They love coming out, and we love having them, so we're going to just keep doing it, and we'll give the kids enough candy to rot their teeth.
Well, let's don't tell the dentist in town that yet.
The dentists are giving us candy.
Oh, no. They're supplying us.
I'm joking.
That's what they always say. Well, the kids are going to have to go see the dentist. Well, the dentist gave them the candy so they can come and see them. Well, this sounds like a lot of fun, Bud. And as a matter of fact, we want to hopefully get to come over and beforehand and talk to you some. And Jim Bumgardner, he loves this kind of stuff, and he was talking about it. So maybe we can do some more get some more information from you. And very intriguing. I enjoyed the fact that I've learned a lot here about some of the things that have gone on there and how you got involved in it. And we as a area and the community here appreciate the fact that you are involved in it, and what you've done so far is a big plus for a park that was just kind of going by the wayside, and we don't want to see it do that. It's got a lot of history for this community, and we're glad you got involved, and you and your partners, and got this thing going here, and hopefully it'll work out good for you and everybody else. But we do appreciate you coming in today. I want to remind everybody again, I got about a minute left to go. October the 23rd and 24th, that's a Friday and Saturday. It'll be down in the village over at Dogpatch, and you'll have parking right there. They'll have signs from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m., and it will be a Heckuva Halloween in the village over there, so you can't miss it. Admission $10, $5 for children under the age of 3. They get in free, so a nice family atmosphere for a very small amount of money, and it'll be a lot of fun. I guarantee you, Bud and all the group, they'll have it ready to rock and roll when Halloween comes. Bud, thanks, and we want to get you back again and talk about the next event you have coming up over at the village, and we appreciate it very much.
Thank you, sir.
Stay with us. Be back in a moment. We're going to talk with a gentleman about a very important program. It's a fundraiser for something that this community has used a lot and will continue to use in the future on Connect.
What's the first thing you notice when you walk into an Arvest?
When I come in and they call me by name.
Half of the people there call me Aunt Bliss.
Even the branches that I don't go in a lot, usually I get a greeting.
When you get off work, you want to see happy people.
They always say, good morning or good afternoon.
They answer everything I need.
I enjoy seeing my family at our best at any time.
When I'm running late and you think you're not going to make it and those doors are still open here, it's a relief.
Arvest Bank. Our customers say it best.
Arkansas Orthopedics and Sports Medicine now offers you 2 orthopedic surgeons, both trained in all the latest surgical techniques. Dr. Sedani and Dr. Cutler specialize in all forms of orthopedic problems and injuries, from torn rotator cuffs to joint replacement, even sprains or broken bones. Dr. Sedani and Dr. Cutler will see you quickly and with the highest standard of efficiency. The entire staff of Arkansas Orthopedics works to keep you moving. Call today for an appointment. Call Dr. Sedani and Dr. Cutler in Harrison at 741-8289.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television. Dennis King and Tabitha Odegaard couldn't be with us today. She'll be back on the show next week. But our second guest in the studio today is no stranger if you live around Harrison, Arkansas, or have been here very long. Jerry Jackson does a lot of things, but the thing we're going to talk about today is very important. Jerry, thanks for coming in.
You're
we
welcome.
appreciate it very much.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Hospice House. Before we get into the campaign that we want to talk about, maybe give the public a little bit of information, if they don't already know, about how the hospice all kind of got started.
It was probably one of the strangest things I've ever been involved in, Dennis. Catherine Nance, back in about 2005, I had served on the hospice board in '99 and 2000. But in 2005, she came into my office one day and she said, "Hey, we need a hospice house. Here's a list of names of some people that might help you. I'm leaving town. Call me later." So Catherine left town, and unfortunately, Catherine's grandson had a four-wheeler accident. This was in 2005, and she was unable to get back here for almost a couple of years because of that. So I think about when she came back, we had it done. But we went out with the idea that we were going to build a $70,000 house. And because I was, connected to Davis Construction and in the real estate business, we thought we could do that. We thought we could find land, and we did. The county stepped up. Mike Moore got involved and gave us this piece of land. And then we started construction, and lo and behold, what a surprise. A $70,000 house became a $500,000 house. And that was mainly due to state regulations. We had to build a small hospital, but at the same time, we wanted it to feel like a home, and have that home feeling, because most people, when they pass, most of them want to be at home. So we thought we could give them that home thing. So we got done. Fortunately, we put together people in town that could help and donate, and they all came together in an incredible way. And what really is cool is, now we talk about it, we have community support, but back then, these people really didn't know what we were talking about, and they still stepped up. So we built a small house, the only one of its kind in the country, and it cost us about $500,000. So
how many, when you first built it, Jerry, I forget, how many rooms did you have?
We had 4.
You only had, so you could accommodate 4 bedrooms.
We could accommodate 4 patients. There was no hospice house in the world, I say world, but mainly the country, because that had 4 bedrooms. They all had more.
Yes.
From a financial point of view, 4 was a disaster. You couldn't break even with 4.
Wow.
But that wasn't our intent.
Right. And I know when you started it out and once you had it completed through those early years, you pretty well, there was always somebody in those 4 rooms.
Oh, absolutely.
There was a huge need.
Oh, absolutely.
The need was bigger than the house.
Much
size.
bigger than we realized.
Yes.
Much bigger.
Yeah,
because some of the things we can do at the house, I mean, it serves so many purposes. It gives the family a break. When an elderly woman is taking care of her husband at home for months and he's ill and he's in pain, it's a bad thing to do, and it wears her out, and the family may not be around. So it allows them to become a family again. And the hospice people, the nurses and the staff and the volunteers, they take care of the patient. They also take care of the family. So that is really what we do there.
Yeah. Okay, tell me, I lose track of time. How many years has it been since you did the expansion program?
We just expanded a year and a half ago is when we opened that. And we realized there were many times that we had 4 rooms full and we couldn't take a patient in. But what we also realized is there were a lot of people staying in the house. They wanted to be with their loved one those last days. And one time we had 28 people and they were sleeping in the hallways. Jeez. So we come up with the idea that we'll add on the expansion and then we'll make some of the older rooms family rooms to where family members could stay in there. That has been the best idea probably we've ever done because they're almost always full now. Even if the people are in town, they'd rather be there at the house and stay there. So
they don't want to leave.
That's been a great, great thing. We opened the expansion a year and a half ago, so now we have a total of 8 patient rooms and 2 of the family rooms.
Wow. So you double the space for the patients and then you've got the family rooms. You know, one thing for those of you in the view now, there's very few people that haven't been touched by some illness that's, you know, it's maybe not curable or it's the final days, you know, and that's usually the situation. But, you know, it's traumatic enough anyway, but people want to be there the entire time. Most of they never want to leave.
That's right.
That's the thing about
it is
they
want to stay with them. The families come in from out of town and they bring their dogs with them and things like that.
You know, I had a friend that actually her mother passed away this last year from cancer and lives in Mountain Home. And it was my first experience with actually being around the hospice house. But it's I must tell you, the people that work in a hospice house are the next level up. All patient givers are great, don't get me wrong, but it takes a special person to be in there.
I'm not that person.
No, I'm not either, because you're dealing with a situation where death is inevitable. And that's a tough situation. But I will say Baxter County at Mountain Home, you know, a little bigger area, but I think they have like 12 or 14.
They do. They have 12 rooms.
12 rooms. And, I couldn't remember 12 or 14.
And see, that facility was a multi-million-dollar facility.
And it's right next to the hospital. And I think
it's owned by the hospital.
I started to say they don't have quite the situation.
So we weren't owned by the hospital. The hospital does share. We partner with the hospital, and they take care of the medical help. They supply all that, and then we kind of take care of the facility and try to raise funds when needed.
Right. Well, let's talk about funds. Hold that sign up there. That's
20 is plenty.
And we see a lot of your signs around, billboards, and you were telling me that in the month of September of every year, it's a month that's dedicated to kind of putting a blitz on, if you will, to fund the hospice house.
It is, and we're able to do a lot of things by doing this. It's only once a year. We're able to get board members, quality board members, to serve on our board because we're not always asking for money. We do it once a year, and we only do it in the form of a $20 bill.
Wow.
So that's really the cool thing. Let me tell you how this came about, Dennis, because this is really neat. When we opened the original house back in '07, we made a commitment, our board made a commitment to the hospital that we would take care of families that could not take care of hospice financially. And at 95% of it is probably taken care of by Medicare or private insurance company. But there's that 5%. And we didn't want the hospital to go in the red on that, so we made a commitment. We'd do everything we could. We'd raise money, and we'd be able to pay for those people. The very first month, it shocked us. We had a lady that required a special medication, a pain medication, that was not approved by Medicare. Cost $24,000. Wow. We had no idea, and it really got us all. We got together real quick and we said, folks, we got to do something, and that was the birth of 20 is Plenty.
Wow.
And so we came out with the 20 is Plenty program, and you know, KHOZ got heavily involved in it, and other organizations, and people throughout town are so supportive of it because they know what it means. And it's once a year we ask for the $20, and we get thousands and thousands of $20 donations. And it's a cool thing, probably without a doubt the coolest fundraiser. We've actually trademarked the name 20 is Plenty. Last year I found New York City. I was up in New York, and they had 20 is plenty on their road signs all throughout town. I called our attorney who set it up, and he looked into it because we got pretty excited. I thought I could maybe go in and talk to the mayor and see if we can't get a little, but he said no, that this applied to, our trademark applies to any charitable organization trying to raise money. We own the brand.
Wow.
So, extremely excited.
Unbelievable. Well, it's certainly been, it's not only a catchy trademark, but if you think about it, Jerry, you know, and not that you don't get more than $20, but if you think about it, a lot of times when organizations are out there trying to raise money, you know, they're asking for $100 bills or $500 or $1,000 or whatever, and not that you wouldn't accept it. I don't mean that, but to say, hey, give us $20. If you can't afford more than 20, give us 20. If you can afford more, that's good too. But I like that amount that touches a lot of people. I mean, you can really touch a lot of people that want to help and want to give, but maybe 20 is all they can afford.
Absolutely.
And that
way they're giving and probably as much as the rest of the people.
That's exactly right. And
when is this going to air?
Well, we're going to have it on this evening. We'll air it the rest of this week. And
cool.
So
this whole week is our final week.
That's why I wanted you to come in.
That's right.
This would end at your final week.
We've got a lot of things going on this week, Dennis. Thursday morning, it's going to kick off with the big day. We set up at Walmart. We'll be at Walmart Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
We'll be at both McDonald's. Jay has been great. And, you know, he can't let every organization, but he's allowed Hospice to come in there once a year, and we'll be there Thursday morning. We'll be on KHOZ all day Thursday, and we'll be out throughout town and doing a lot of things. So, you know, if you get a chance, there's containers around town.
Yes, I've
probably
seen
have 50 of those around, and then again at Walmart and McDonald's. And that number, 365-2020, if you call that number, what it'll do is tell you to mail your check to P.O. Box. Take a guess.
2020.
2020. P.O. Box 20, and we didn't have this.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, P.O. Box 2020, Harrison, Arkansas. So,
well,
or you can go online.
That's fantastic. Well, you know, and that really makes it nice because people that are out there that want to, you know, help, and they go, well, now what was the phone number? Well, it makes it easy because, you know, a lot of times you'll have a different website and a different phone number, and it's hard to remember all this stuff. But we'll actually here at TK08 we'll be airing this twice a day, and it'll be online 24/7 all the way through the weekend, and so it'll be perfect timing for your closure of the 20 is 20 program, or finishing up the month. And I actually did, when I saw you the other day, and I thought about something, I need to get you to come in. I knew it was running in September.
I appreciate you thinking
how
of
long
that.
and
timing was perfect.
Well, your support and your thought process of this whole thing is very much appreciated by the community. You do a lot of different things, but this hospice is a fantastic thing that touches a lot of people. If it hadn't touched you out there in the viewing audience, if you have not been involved with anybody yet, you probably will be in your lifetime, and it could even be you. So if you can help out now, it would certainly make a big difference going forward with the Hospice House and
absolutely.
With Hospice,
Thank you.
and with Hospice of the Hills. Thank you, Jerry, for your hard work, and we appreciate you
You're welcome.
in the community. We hope we brought some good information to you today on the two programs we have. If you happen to be out there, you're part of an organization or an individual that's a nonprofit or have something interesting to tell us, give us a call here at the studio, 741-2566, and we'll make arrangements to get you on the show. We have a show new each and every Monday right here in Studio B. Thanks for joining us on the show today. We'll see you again next week.
When you support a locally owned pharmacy, you're contributing to the growth of the community. The dollars you spend stay right here to support our local community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned pharmacies. There's one right here. Health Mart pharmacists have a personal commitment to their communities because, just like you, they support their community. Health Mart pharmacies are locally owned and hometown proud. Harrison is a